Now, today is the deadline for two Namibian political parties to examine the country's electoral body's materials from last month's election. The Namibian Electoral Court had given the Independent Patriots for Change and the Landless People's Movement the deadline. Well, this after the parties alleged some irregularities. SWAPO's presidential candidate Netumbo Nandi Ndaitwah has been declared the winner of the November polls. The parties, however, say elections were flawed and possibly invalid due to an array of issues. However, the electoral body has since defended the electoral final outcome. Dr. Charles Sinkala, international relations consultant, joins us now to make sense of the Namibian election as well as the Middle East peace talks. Doctor, great having you with us on the show. So the election results are in, but still some contention. Talk to us about the current developments in this election.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much for having me, and good afternoon to your viewers. It is as it is. You know, elections is about those who win the elections and those who have got very high expectations in terms of what candidate or party or political party rather that they will require. As we are aware, elections in the world are based on for people, especially those who are under serious economical challenges, to have hope that those elections of the new coming government shall give them an opportunity to participate in the economic activities. It is not always good that other candidates take up the chance, like what has happened in Namibia now.
And absolutely, I mean, let's talk about that, Doctor. I mean, looking at the current developments there, what would be the correct process then of contesting with these results, especially if there is proof by these parties that are alleging widespread irregularities in terms of election fraud? In a similar case that we saw here in South Africa, although not highly as contested.
Yes, indeed, it's been a challenge. You know, I've lived to a point where I've never seen a country that can have peaceful elections, you know, where the playing field has been leveled, where even the opposition political parties are enjoying the fruits and the benefits of participating in the competition of ideas, as they call it. It has been a biggest challenge in terms of how they address the elections on the continent, based on the irregularities, the late comings of ballot papers, the late delivery of certain essentials, and many others that constitutes to non-free and fair elections. But all in all, elections are conducted, even if it is 75% or 55% free and fair, the elections outcome goes on.
And then, I mean, what happens going forward then, Doctor? Can we see a new handover of power in a peaceful manner, as we've seen with some of the other African countries in the continent?
Yes, I think now, elections and democracy, especially on the African continent, has gone to some maturity, you know, unlike in the past where things were very difficult. Now, for the use of technology, many others will be eased. I'm not just sure why most African countries are not transforming to electronic type of voting, where there's limited to zero type of interference in the election process.
And what did you observe, Doctor? I understand your delegation was there. I mean, pertaining to some of the issues that have been brought up as being part of the irregularities pertaining to election fraud. Did you observe anything?
Well, not personally, but, reports have suggested that some other areas, access to the free and fair voting type of system was unattainable. You know, it's disappointing that we only see the elections being announced now and coming now as if something just happens immediately. But these things should have been planned in the last 5 years, you know, to make sure that logistics are presented and are made available to the people to vote within the areas. But what we have seen from the observers who came from the regional organizations, international organizations as well, yes, they may have sides as well to which candidates they would like to have, but generally speaking, the elections were delivered as free and fair.
Let's talk about the Middle Eastern peace talks now, Doctor. What is your take going forward? Any chances of any headway or success?
Well, for the change of the government in the United States of America, who has been a key player in terms of the conflicts between Palestine and Israel, I think Donald Trump being ushered in office, I mean, he's coming to office in just few days. We shall see some normalcy as his international policy has completely been regarded as something different from the outgoing president Joe Biden and his Democratic Party. We can see that more international conflicts, they'll be easing up as he has adopted a policy of reducing the expenditure from the outside and maintaining the expenditure within the nation, country, United States of America. But we shall wait to see. We are waiting anxiously as the Middle East, is significant in terms of peace and security for the whole region, and if not the whole world. As if the one country is not at peace, the rest of the world is not at peace.
Doctor, thank you so much for your input this afternoon. That is Dr. Charles Sinkala, the international relations consultant on, of course, the recently held elections in Namibia, as well as the current, as well as proposed talks or peace talks out in the Middle East.